Welcome back to TNLP, the newsletter podcast, brought to you by the HazMat Guys. I'm your host, Timmy, back with some of the biggest hazmat stories this week, including an update from a story we've previously covered. Without further ado, we start this week off with a scandal out of Wisconsin, where a former state lawmaker has been charged with fraud after leaving nearly 2.7 million pounds of hazardous waste at a recycling firm. Wisconsin Public Radio reports state environmental regulators say cleanup of hazardous electronic waste is complete in connection with a multi-year federal fraud case involving a former state lawmaker and Wisconsin recycling firm. Ladysmith-based 5R Processors, which is no longer operating, processed electronic waste at facilities in Wisconsin and Tennessee. That waste included cathode ray tubes from televisions and computers, which contain high levels of lead. State and federal agencies investigated 5R and spin-off companies for illegal storage, transport, and disposal of crushed leaded glass at facilities in Ladysmith, Glen Flora, Catawba, and West Bend. Lead and mercury within materials at those sites are widely known to contaminate drinking water when released into the environment, said Natasha Gwitt, Waste and Materials Management Field Operations Director for the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Gwitt said the contamination in the materials was not released, but the state spent $4.6 million to clean up waste left behind. It's really unfortunate that tax dollars did go to bailing out a corporation that didn't continue to be responsible for what they were supposed to be doing, Gwitt said. In 2020, a grand jury issued a 10-count indictment against Kevin Shabilsky, chief executive officer of 5R Processors. Shabilsky previously served as a former state senator from 1995 to 2003, as well as a brief stint as the state's tourism secretary in 2003. Shabilsky pleaded guilty to a single felony count of willful failure to pay $858,101 in employment taxes, and the government dropped the other charges. In 2023, a federal judge sentenced him to 33 months in federal prison and 3 years extended supervision. Work to clean up the sites wrapped up this year and removed nearly 2.7 million pounds of hazardous electronic waste. In West Bend, the city removed an additional 64 dumpsters of solid waste, and the total cleanup there cost about $2.4 million. Gwitt said the work was a significant undertaking, noting the state doesn't have a dedicated fund to clean up contaminated sites. Federal, state, and local partners worked to restore the sites with help of $4.5 million, set aside by the Wisconsin legislature under a law enacted in 2022. One of the sites up north was found to have more than 60 pounds of elemental mercury, which is an enormous amount of material that was not stored properly, Gwitt said. Anyone could just walk into one of these facilities, break and enter, or be in there utilitizing them and not have a clue of the concerns. The DNR contracted with Veolia Milwaukee, LLC, who worked with subcontractors to safely package and transport the waste for treatment and disposal at approved facilities that handle hazardous waste. Some material also went to recycling facilities. Gwitt said there's no need for monitoring the sites, noting it's up to the landowners to determine future use of those properties. However, some work is still being done to clean up contamination at the site where waste was stored in West Bend, which stemmed from a past industrial user unrelated to 5R Processors. Next up, a story we've previously covered. Remember that beauty supply warehouse fire in Yonkers a few weeks back? Get this. Emergency crews responded Saturday morning to a chemical-based 3-alarm fire at the same location. News 12 Westchester shares it's the second time this month that crews responded to a fire and hazmat situation at 143 Woodworth Avenue, a household beauty products warehouse. Executive Assistant Fire Chief P.J. Goldfeeder said the fire was sparked by a reaction from stored chemicals and is a full hazmat assignment. According to Goldfeeder, the first calls came in around 3 a.m. He said crews on scene witnessed smoke, but no flames, and later realized it was from a chemical reaction coming from inside the warehouse. At approximately 7 a.m., there was an exothermic reaction causing the fire behind us, he told News 12. He said an initial investigation found that the fire appears to have started the same way the other fire started earlier this month. The air was still being monitored for safety on Saturday afternoon. It's basic fire smoke, We are not alarmed by the chemicals. If we do start to get readings that the chemicals are affecting the smoke or traveling, we will evacuate the area, he said. He told News 12 that more than 10 firefighters sustained minor injuries. There were no civilian injuries reported. Pictures from the scene showed large plumes of smoke above the neighborhood, which is close to a train station. Yonkers Fire Department officials said some companies were released Saturday afternoon. Emergency crews were still at the scene Saturday night. Goldfeeder said officials with the MTA were monitoring the situation as well, as the fire occurred near the Metro North's Hudson Line. The Yonkers Fire Department said that the fire was under control after 5 p.m. Police and fire crews were still on the scene as of Saturday night. Fire officials say people in the area do not need to keep their windows closed, as there are no more contaminants present in the air. Wrapping up this week, we have a developing story out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Laramie County fire crews have cleared the scene of a spectacular railroad incident authorities are calling a significant and dangerous event caused by a ruptured natural gas line near a train carrying hazardous materials west of Cheyenne in the early hours of Sunday. Laramie County Fire District 10 was dispatched at 1:08 a.m. on reports of explosions and flames visible from 60 miles away, said Daniel Streetman, a firefighter and spokesman for the fire district. You could see the glow from town as we responded, and we had reports from Colorado that they could see it, he told Cowboy State Daily on Sunday morning. The Larimer County Dispatch in Colorado called because people could see it from Wellington. The large fire was located near mile marker 350 on Interstate 80. Cheyenne Fire Rescue responded to the incident to provide hazmat support, Chief Andrew Dykeshorn told Cowboy State Daily later Sunday evening. They provided support until Union Pacific crews arrived to handle the response, he said. He also said the fire threatened the train with the hazardous materials and that there was another train on a nearby track that was protected. Brendan John was one of those awakened in the middle of the night to see the insane glow of fire in the darkness. I woke up last night for a possible black bear on our security camera, he said. Instead, I see what looked like another sun rising, until zooming in. I snapped some photos and a video at 1:59 a.m. The size of the fire was absolutely insane. Literally pulsing light in the sky from such an intense fire as you can see in the video. I'm glad everybody on the train got out safe. Another video was captured by Laramie County resident Michelle Emmy. Emmy wasn't home, but her Ring camera captured the explosion. When fire crews arrived, they confirmed a ruptured natural gas line had sparked a fire that created a fireball, according to a report from District 10. The incident involved a Union Pacific Railroad train and a ruptured natural gas pipeline, the report says. The ruptured pipeline ignited in close proximity to rail cars carrying hazardous materials, placing responders and the surrounding area at a heightened risk. Just what those hazardous materials were or how much was involved wasn't known, Streetman said. What he does know is that his and other ground crews waited close to the scene while hazardous materials responders cleared the area as safe to go into. Once that was done, that's what they did, he said. Streetman also cautioned people that social media reports based on incomplete emergency scanner traffic are not reliable to tell just what happened. That includes reports of ammonium nitrate being involved, he said. Nothing like that was there. The only hazmat that was involved was a couple of ethanol cars. Those cars are stable now, and we just cleared the scene. The fire is out. There is no active flame or anything of that nature. The Union Pacific hazmat crew is still on scene, and it's been cleared of any and all safety concerns. Streetman said that as fire crews responded, they met the train crew walking out from the scene of the incident. They were all okay. The train crew had self-evacuated, and we met them coming in. So we knew there were no people left there, and they were okay, he said. The area of the fire was rural, and no private homes were threatened during the incident, Streetman said. It was out between some private lands and the Belvoir Ranch, and it was pretty secluded out there west of Cheyenne, he said. We were able to do some pretty good surveying with drones and coordinated with the gas company to get the line shut in. That took some time to burn out, and once it burned out, we could get crews on the ground. Those ground crews put out a grass fire that was started by the incident, which is completely extinguished, he said. How many railcars were threatened and what they were carrying weren't known as of Sunday morning, Streetman said, adding that the scene was turned over to Union Pacific investigators. This is a developing story and will be updated as more information is available. And we'll continue to report on any updates next week on the Newsletter podcast. Before we sign off, have you ordered Nerd the Game? Challenge your crew, flex your skills, and see who really knows their stuff. It's like training, but way more invigorating. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned vet, Nerd the Game will have you second-guessing your knowledge and laughing all the way to that hydrochloric acid leak in the hospital bay while it's snowing thinking deja vu. Ready to get schooled? Get your deck at thehazmatguys.com/game. No excuses. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Until next time, Timmy, over and out.